Hi guys, my name is Melanie Newman. Welcome to our grooming channel. This is Miley the toy poodle, and in today's grooming session, I'm going to teach you the danger points when clipping a dog. So stay tuned. I have already bathed Miley, so I bathed Miley in the Purify collection. I've brushed out all her knots and tangles by using a universal slicker. Then I've gone through her coat with a metal comb, and then I've used a fine tooth comb. So the fine tooth comb just ensures that the coat is separating and that there's no knots and tangles. I'm using an Oster 3000i clipper. The length I'm using on Miley today is a 1/2 inch snap-on. So this is a wide tooth snap-on made by Sheer Magic. And I've popped Miley on a non-slip mat. So she's going to feel really secure when I'm clipping her, and she's not going to slide around. The danger points on our dog is usually places where the skin is a little bit looser. So it's usually places like under their armpits, around their throat area, their flanks, and these are usually areas where our blade can get caught because we do use metal blades. Because what can actually happen is the skin can actually get caught in between the teeth of our blades. As I'm clipping Miley, I will just go through the areas that we need to be careful of when we're clipping dogs. When we're clipping our dog, it's a good idea to start at the back of the skull where the occiput is and work down, going with the direction of the coat lay. Before we begin, I'm going to move her ear out of the way and begin at the back of her ear, down her neck, around her rib cage. I'm going to pop my hand in front of the clipper and then just gently pull her skin so it's nice and tight, because she does have loose skin. So I'm going to pull it nice and tight, and this will avoid, as we're clipping, any accidents and any skin getting caught in between those teeth. Following her top line towards her tail. And heading towards her hind legs. As we're clipping down her front legs, the areas we need to be careful of is behind their elbow, because they do have a lot of loose skin there, and in front of their front leg, and their underarm area. I'm coming down the upper arm of Miley, and then I'm coming in the front of her front leg. So it's usually just across from her elbow, and I'm just going to scoop that area out lightly. And I like to keep her head up high and keep that ear out of the way, and try and stretch out that skin through the front of her shoulder. And always having my dog standing, so never sitting. And as I clip down her front leg, I'm going to hold her elbow, and gently with my fingers, I'm going to pull the skin nice and tight around that underarm area and around her elbow. And I've still got hold of that arm, and then I'm going to run my clippers down that leg. And I'm still going with the direction of the coat growth. As I clip the inside of the leg that we're clipping, I'm going to lift up the opposite leg and come in with my clippers and clip straight down. So coming up towards her underarm, but not right in, so I'm quite light with my clippers, and then coming straight down that leg. If we're clipping with a short blade, so shorter than 1/2 inch, so even from a 3 to a number 7 blade, we need to be careful of all this loose skin on her forearm, and it's in the inner side of her arm. So when we pick up her leg, it's on the inside of her arm. So as I'm supporting her elbow, I'm pulling the skin nice and tight as I've got hold of her elbow, and then I'm going to run my clippers down the inside of her front legs. From her upper arm into her forearm, this is a major danger point. So as we're running our clippers through this area, I like to run my clippers on a little bit of an angle. So as I'm coming in, I'm scooping outwards and then inwards. So I'm coming out, and then I'm coming across towards her poststernum area. If you've got a dog like Miley, who doesn't like their front legs being clipped, I like to pick up the opposite leg to the leg that I'm clipping and then just hang on to that leg. If we come straight into this area, what can happen is the skin can pinch in between the teeth in our blade, and it can actually cut this area. So I'm just going to tidy up around her elbow area, but again, this is a danger point. So I'm going to support her underarm with the palm of my hand and try and pull that skin as tight as I can, and then run my clippers gently over that area. Coming in at the back of her elbow, and I'm still supporting that underarm. As I clip the other side of her neck, I'm gently going to turn her head the opposite direction to where we're clipping. So we're clipping this side of her, so I'm going to turn her head this way. And what this does is it pulls the skin nice and tight for when we're going to clip this area. So still following the direction of that coat growth, heading down towards our elbow and just behind our elbow, so around her rib cage. So I'm going to pop my hand underneath her underarm and then gently pull her skin nice and tight, and then run my clippers down her leg, following the direction of the coat growth. So starting up towards her upper arm, and gently going over her elbow, and then down the back of her front leg, and then we can go down the front of her leg as well. And the same as when we're doing the front of her front leg, so between her upper arm and her forearm, so directly across from her elbow. So I'm going to pop my hand underneath her underarm and then gently pull that skin nice and tight, and I'm still supporting with my hand on her elbow. And then as I clip, I'm going to come out slightly and then in. So I'm going a little bit against the direction, but I find this is a really safe way to clip our dogs. So coming towards the underarm, following the direction of the coat growth, and then straight down the front of that leg. And while we've still got our dog's front leg in the palm of our hand, we can easily clip the inside of that front leg. And I'm just going to tidy up behind her elbow area. So I'm still going to support her elbow with my hand, but I'm actually going to pull the skin nice and tight underneath that underarm and then run my clippers over that area. And we can also lift the leg if they don't like their legs being clipped, such as Miley. And pop her leg back down. And this is all skin through here. So I'm going to hold that skin nice and flat as I clip over that area. As we begin to work towards the back part of our dog, I'm still going to follow the direction around her rib cage, but as I get to her flank area, I'm going to hold her flank in one hand and clip straight over that area. So similar to what we did with her underarm behind her elbow area, as we clipped, I held that area and clipped straight over it, so we're supporting that loose skin. And supporting that skin by pulling it nice and tight as we clip. And we can see how loose Miley's skin is, so I'm really supporting it as I'm clipping her. So as I clip her flank area, so this is a danger point through here because look at all this loose skin. They have all this loose skin in these areas because it allows movement. So when we're clipping this flank area, we really need to support this skin as we're clipping. So we wouldn't come in and then back around the front of that back leg. We would always support that back leg and always clip with the direction. And I always like to clip as I'm following my hand through those areas to help support that loose skin. So I'm coming into that flank area and the palm of my hand and my fingers is nice and flat behind that area. So it's always supported. And as I'm coming around the front of that back leg, I'm not going to come straight into that area. I'm just going to follow the direction of the coat growth because all through here is a danger point. So a danger point from the start of her flank to her stifle. And then as I clip towards her hock area, I'm going to gently wrap my fingers around her knee joint and then gently lift her leg. So this is going to support her leg while I'm clipping that area. So she's not able to bend her leg and she's nice and supported. And as I come down with my clippers, I can come directly down that foot at her stifle and then coming straight down towards her toes. As we move to the side of her back leg, we have a lot of loose skin through this area. So as I'm coming down into this danger point area, I like to just go on a slight angle. So I'm not going crossways, it's just a slight angle. So it's still the direction of the coat growth, but just a slight angle. And then it meets up with the area that we've just clipped at the front of the back leg. And I'm still supporting that knee joint, and I can also maneuver the skin as I'm clipping. So she does have a lot of loose skin through here, but I'm pulling it nice and tight as I'm holding that knee area. As we clip towards the back of our dog, so at the back of our dog's back legs, I like to still go with the direction of the coat growth, so coming in this way. If we come straight into the back of this back leg through this area, There still is a lot of loose skin through here, so this is an area we need to be extra careful of. So I still like to come with the direction of that coat growth. So the coat's usually coming around the back of that back leg. So just coming off the croup and then just following the direction of the coat growth through the back of that back leg. And supporting that knee joint again. And when we get to our hock area, so the start of our hock, we can just come straight down with our clippers. And now we're going to clip the inside of that back leg. So again, we've got a lot of loose skin throughout this area, through that leg area, so we need to be extra careful. So I'm going to lift her opposite leg and then gently clipping through this area. And just following the direction of that coat growth. And then the other side, so supporting her by pulling her skin nice and tight. And then following the direction of the coat growth around that rib cage, heading towards her hind leg and that flank area. So supporting that flank with my fingers. And coming straight over that area. And I'm still following the direction of the coat growth in her flank area and supporting that knee joint, and I'm pulling the skin nice and tight as I'm holding that knee area and then coming down the front of her back leg. So remember that this is all a danger point, all through here, but it's nice and tight because I'm pulling that skin nice and tight as I'm holding her knee area. And then heading straight down towards that hock. And I'm going to hold her tail out of the way as I clip the back of her back leg, so all this area. And again, I'm supporting her knee with my palm, so I've got hold of that and I'm pulling that skin nice and tight, so all this skin through here, so it's nice and tight, and my clippers are going to follow the direction of the coat growth around the back of this back leg. I'm going to hold on to her tail while I pick up that opposite leg so I can clip the inside of that back leg and following the direction of the coat growth, because this is all danger points through here because there is a lot of loose skin coming from the inside of her back leg. I've already clipped all her sanitary areas, so if you need to switch back to our video on how to clip a female sanitary area, do so and then come back to this video. Pop her tail up, so I'm supporting her by just gently holding onto her tail, and I'm just going to clip over her private area. So I'm just tidying up around her bottom and around her little privates. As we clip our dog's throat area, I like to start my clipping point at the jawline. And as I clip, I'm going to come outwards. So I'm still following the direction of the coat growth, But instead of coming straight in with my clippers where the skin could get caught in the teeth of our blade, I'm going to come on a slight angle as I clip. So I'm not coming straight in and straight down. I'm coming on a slight angle because all through here is really loose skin and danger points all the way through. And moving those ears out of the way and popping her head back slightly and starting where her jawline is. And I'm coming on that slight angle. So I'm not coming crossways, it's just a slight angle. I like our line to be from our jawline, going past our pro-sternum, clipping over our upper arm and then heading towards our forearm. So we get a nice smooth clipper area. So as we're clipping, we're avoiding the track marks. So the track marks are usually clipper lines from going in the opposite or the wrong direction. So kind of like if we're clipping directly across this area, we might see some clipper lines, and that's what you would call track marks. But we're going with the direction of the hair growth. To clip Miley's underline, there's two different ways that we can do this. I can gently pull her leg out in front of her, or I can just support her front legs and then gently lift her up and then clip towards the middle of her. So if we pick her up, the areas that we need to be careful of are her flank areas and her underarm. So we've still got this loose skin through here. So I'm going to support Miley by holding her front legs and then gently popping her up on her back legs. And then I'm going to come in towards the middle of her. And the areas that we need to be careful of is this flank area. So we're not going to come directly in with our clippers and scoop this out. When we're clipping this area, we're always coming in towards the middle of her. And then her other side, I'm coming towards the middle of her. So never into this area. We're always going with the direction of the coat growth. I'm not going to come into her underarms. I'm going to come just at the start of her rib cage and then come straight down towards her belly. As I clip her sternum area and the area next to her underarm, I'm going to just follow the direction of the coat growth, so I'm not coming into that underarm and then coming towards her belly area. So I'm not clipping that underarm at all. And her other leg, so gently pulling it out in front of her. And clipping straight down towards her belly area. As we pull her front leg out in front of her, the skin behind her elbow is a danger point. So we can't come up into that area and clip like this. We always need to go with the direction of that coat growth. To clip the hair in the underarm area, I like to just gently pull that hair out and then come in with my clippers and then just gently scoop that outwards. So let's just recap on those danger points. Our throat area at the front of our front leg, so directly across from the elbow, our underarm, behind our elbow, inside our front leg, our flank area, the back of our back leg, inside our back leg, and around our sanitary areas. It's really important when we're clipping our dogs that we are super gentle and very careful when we're using blades. Our blades that we use are metal blades, so it's really important that we take care of those danger areas as we're clipping. I'm going to pop links for all the equipment that we've used in today's grooming session in the description below. And if you guys have any questions, pop them in the comments below and we will definitely get back to you. And until next time, happy grooming.